What's good, y'all? SkyMav in the building. Listen, today we're going to be talking about NBA media. Now, I got 17 people up on this list. I made this tier list. I got the idea from a Funky Diabetic, another great basketball education YouTuber. This guy's got a great basketball IQ. Wasn't a big fan of his list, but that's fine. We could agree to disagree. I still love his content. Now you're going to be looking on this list. You're going to be missing some people. There's some people on here that you're thinking, are they really NBA media? I try to pick the people who get the most likes, get the most retweets, get the most attention when they make any kind of statement, okay? And I think I've covered most of the bases here. There may be a couple people I'm missing. I know I missed Richard Jefferson. I apologize to RJ because he's one of my favorite, but I missed him, so we're not going to rank him here. And there's one person on here that doesn't exactly meet the criteria, though. Shout out Isaiah Thomas. And it's not King of the Fourth Quarter. Alright, it's not Ernie Johnson. It's actually this person right here. I'm going to put them in the no comment, and that's Malika Andrews. The reason I put Malika Andrews on here is because she has been getting a lot of hype and a lot of attention. And I mean, she's gorgeous, she's smart, she's intelligent, she earned her job. That's great. But the fact that we try to use her to belittle what Rachel Nichols did and to start this cancel culture. If you believe in cancel culture, unsubscribe. Don't follow any of my videos because I don't believe in canceling anybody. Now, Rachel Nichols, professional, earned her spot, earned her job. Malika Andrews is still working her way up. She can be as good looking as she wants, and we shouldn't hold that against what Rachel Nichols said either, because Rachel Nichols was not being racist when she made her comments about Malika Andrews. She just knew that, hey, I'm qualified for this. And that's what Rachel Nichols is, and that's why, going right to Rachel Nichols, we're going to put her in the great category, okay? I'm going to break down the categories in a second. I just want to get this point out the way because there's a lot of misconceptions about this issue between Rachel Nichols and Malika Andrews. I'm here to stop all that. If you kids still want to continue to retweet and like posts that say Rachel Nichols is going to lose her job or lose her reach, then you guys just do not know business. There's no cancel culture. There's very little cancel culture and business, and Rachel Nichols is still going to have her job, and she's going to be covering the finals next year. Moving on, we're going to, real quick, these tiers, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. GOAT, great. Needs more attention is me, people that are great voices but just don't have enough reach and don't get enough attention. Decent, I mean, very little, they're not much as impresses me. And then no comment is somebody that I just don't believe should be on this list, and I think Malika Andrews is the only person that's going to be in that category, but we'll see. Moving on, we'll just go straight down the list, and I am going to be ranking in line. A lot of tier makers kind of just put things in random order. They're going to be in order of who I think is the best of each category. Charles Barkley. But to go back to that one, we're going to start with Jalen Rose, actually. Now, Jalen Rose, to me, is decent. I mean, I don't hear a lot of Jalen Rose, actually. I watch, he's got a show with Jacoby, the great show. He's just good. He lays back. He does his thing. He covers the finals, so obviously he does something right. I'm a fan of Jalen Rose, a fan of all that he stands for, so he's decent. He does his job. I would say needs more attention, but I don't even think he cares about that. I think he's cool doing what he wants. Now let's move on to Stephen A. Smith. Now, Stephen A. Smith, to me, this is a tough one. I'm going to put him in also the decent category. Now, I love Stephen A. Smith. I'm actually going to put him above Jalen Rose. Stephen A. is amazing. Stephen A. is animated. Stephen A. is probably the best person we have on there just talking basketball. He makes you want to listen. But the problem with Stephen A. is that he was used to being on a debate show. Now, in debate shows, you got to have opinions. And he's formed some opinions about certain players, certain franchises. I'm not going to go into any names specifically. He knows. And it's kind of made it so he's kind of burned some bridges in some areas where you can't really be on the side of somebody because he's made a lot of comments about this certain person. And Stephen A., I mean, he's a great, loyal Knicks fan. I love his emotions about the Knicks up and down, and that's what makes him more personable to me. But he's just he realizes that he's on a bigger platform. He's got to realize that he's on a bigger platform. Now, people listen to him, everything he says, and when he talks negatively on these players, these little kids are going to think that these players are bad players, and he just needs to understand that. I think there's more people on that list that need to understand that as well, and I'll probably keep them in the decent category. Skip Bayless. moving on. I know I said there's only been one person there, but we're going to move on from Skip Bayless. Actually, you know, I'll talk about Skip for a second. Skip, I mean, I'll put him in the no comment section because I don't like any of his opinions. But I heard that Skip Bayless is a very, very good person. And I know that he's a good husband because of the book that his wife put out. So Skip Bayless, he's fine. I have no problems with Skip at all. I just put him in no comment because I think that we should not be listening to what Skip Bayless says at all, unless it's for comedic purposes, and then I'm all for that. This dude, Shannon Sharpe, right here. Now, when I got angry at Funky's list is when they put Shannon Sharpe low, and also Kendra Perkins, but I'll get there. Shannon Sharpe needs more attention. Shannon Sharpe, okay, yeah, he's country, yeah, he's hood, yeah, he talks, he doesn't have the greatest vocabulary, whatever. Shannon Sharpe is a master at social media, one. And he's also a master at he's a master at being himself at all times. He doesn't confide to what any program wants him to do. He doesn't care about what the fans think about him. He's gonna be him. And he obviously doesn't know he knows a lot about basketball, but not on the level of Skip Bayless. But that even makes it more so appealing to listen to him because he just brings out the straight facts and he knows how to make the facts exciting. And some analysts like Skip Bayless ignore the facts all the time. That's why you see when Shannon Sharpe says something, Skip Bayless is just like, That's because he has no argument to facts. You can argue facts. And give me Shannon Sharpe all day because he speaks facts and can make the facts exciting. You don't always have to come up with a random story and make it exciting to cause drama. Just make the facts exciting. Shannon Sharpe's good at that. Joy Taylor. I put her on here because I just listened to her podcast and all the smoke and I was really interested in what she said. I'll say she needs more attention as well. I think we kind of put these female analysts kind of in a box of where they're the people that give out the information. But nah, I want to hear what Joy Taylor has to say. I want to hear what Rachel Nichols has to say. I want to hear them give their opinion as well because some of these dudes just ain't doing it right. And they're teaching kids their over opinionated attitudes is just not going to fly with me. I don't do that. I'm a teacher. I work with kids. I don't want these people spreading lies. Nick Wright. You guys are going to hate me for this. I'm putting him in the GOAT tier. And it's not because of LeBron. It's not because of LeBron. You guys are going to do it because some people know that I'm a LeBron guy. It's not because of LeBron. The problem with actually, you know what? I'm gonna put Nick Wright in the great. I'll put him in the great. The problem with Nick Wright is he's really monotone. His delivery sometimes sounds grumpy, which is okay. That's fine. It's his MO, it's his style, it's his brand. But I mean, as a person, he's a great person. First of all, off of air, Nick Wright is an amazing person. He's always himself. He doesn't change. He's not fake. Nick Wright, people want to look at him because, okay, sure, he didn't have hair, and then you made fun of him for not having hair, and now you make fun of him for having hair. It doesn't matter. Nick Wright, he still is going to be himself. He does not care about what you think about him. He's going to go to the cold, hard facts, just like Shannon Sharpe. So you're seeing a theme here. But he's not going to... He does overly talk about LeBron, but so does Skip. Skip Bayless talks about LeBron more than Nick Wright does, and he hates LeBron. So we can't use that against Nick Wright. Nick Wright brings facts. He's a basketball historian. That's why he goes above Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe may or may not be a historian. Nick Wright is like me. Hey, what happened on this date in 2000, whatever, what basketball game happened, he'll tell you that game. I'm the same way, so Nick Wright goes in the great tier. If you can want to debate that, you can debate a wall. Kendra Perkins, my man KP. I'll put KP in the needs more attention category. Now, Kendrick Perkins, you got everybody, it's a stereotype. Not only was he a center who didn't really play well in his career, didn't put up gaudy numbers, of course, he's country, he's fluent, and he's a great vocabulary, but people think by the way he talks a little slower that he's slow. That's not the case, all right? Kendra Perkins is incredibly intelligent, he's incredibly smart, and he knows a lot about basketball and a lot more than people think, but they just want to look at the stats and what he put up. Now, there's a difference between Kendra Perkins averaging 7 and 8 in the NBA and LeVar Ball averaging 2 in college or high school. That's a difference there. Like, Kendra Perkins got to the highest level and he competed and he won a championship. In 2010, the Celtics may have won back-to-back championships if Kendra Perkins was healthy. That's how important he was on that team. Now, he's been around NBA circles. He's met so many great Hall of Famers, and he's just sponged all that knowledge up. You think that person doesn't know basketball? That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Being big and uncoordinated is not a means to say that he does not know basketball. And it's ridiculous that we even think that. Kenny Smith, to me, no comment, man. I know I put 3 people in there, but Kenny Smith, he doesn't bring anything to the table. He's an instigator. We know that, to instigate the comedy between Shaq and between Shaq. I forgot Shaq on this list. My bad. But that's fine. He wants to instigate and put Shaq and put Charles against each other, which is hilarious. It's always fun. But what take has Kenny made ever that's been a good take? Okay? Shaq gets flamed for making bad takes. Charles gets flamed for making bad takes. When has Kenny ever made a take? Like, Kenny just kind of sits in the background and just does his thing, which is fine. But it's like, well, you got to bring more to the table, man. The biggest issue I have with Kenny, why I'm not putting him in the decent tier, is that he is the instigator, but he cannot take a joke to save his life. Anytime somebody jokes on him, he's uncomfortable tapping or drinking water or whatever the case is. Kenny just cannot take anybody being negative towards him, and that's fine. But if you're gonna be on TV every night, you have to take some jokes, and you're gonna have to roll with the punches. Kenny, king of the fourth quarter. Now, I know a lot of people, they're wondering why he's on this list. It's because I am pretty smart, and I know that Kenny is already one of the people that everybody listens to already, and it's because he's young. He's young, and he's just as intelligent as a lot of these guys. And I know, because I'm the same age as Kenny, and I know more basketball than half the people on this list. And I will go to their face and say that. And Kenny has no problem doing the same thing. That's why he's able to interview with these people, because he knows the game. He knows the business side. He knows the interview side. I'm not as good as an interviewer as he is. Obviously, I like to talk. But Kenny is just amazing. I'll put him in the great category, because he doesn't need more attention now, but he's going to get it as he continues his job. And Kenny, please, throw a little bone my way. I would love to work with Kenny, but amazing guy. I've been watching him for like 4 or 5 years before he got to this point. I mean, it's just awesome motivation to watch Kenny be in his part. I may be a little biased with putting Kenny there, but I'm doing it anyway. Maybe that's the only bias pick I've had, though. Everything else, you could debate with me all you want. Ernie Johnson is in the GOAT category. Ernie Johnson is amazing. He's an amazing host. Not only is he so good at being accepting, he accepts everything. He's so unbiased, but he's unbiased culturally as well. He can talk about rap songs, talk about hood stuff, and then be super professional and tell these giant 7'1" dudes to shut up and stop talking because they're running out of time on whatever segment. Ernie is he's the ultimate controller of a crowd. He's the ultimate unbiased NBA fan. He's the ultimate enjoyer of life. He just enjoys life. I spit everywhere, sorry. He enjoys life, and he brings that to the table. You can see Ernie enjoys life just by what he does and inside the NBA. He's the GOAT category. I don't know if anybody's going to be higher than Ernie on this list. Magic. I don't know why Magic is on here, but then again, I don't know why you guys like so much of his tweets anyway. Magic is he's going to be in the no comment section for now, only because Magic realized that he realized, I think, that his voice travels more than he thought, and I think he realized that he couldn't just put out any kind of random comment as the whatever he was, as the Lakers vice president or president of basketball operations, whatever he was. He couldn't just do whatever he wanted, so he resigned, which to me, it wasn't cowardly, but it was he kind of just left them in the dust. I mean, the Lakers since have recovered. Thank you, Rob Pelinka. Have recovered and done great, but kind of left them in the dust, and he continues to just comment on things, and they're getting a lot of buzz. I get it. It's Magic Johnson. His basketball IQ is through the roof, but he's just kind of in that category where I'll talk about Charles Barkley, where he's kind of just saying whatever he wants and he has no repercussions, which is fine. That's how Magic wants to do things, and Magic has earned the right to do whatever he wants, but just take what he says as a grain of salt, because he's passionate about the Lakers. He's going to say a lot of Laker biased things, and he's going to say a lot of other things that he's biased about, but because he has no company he works for. He works for Magic, and Magic works for himself. Colin Cowherd. I'm gonna put him in the great category. He gives great opinions, great interviewer, great professional. He's a radio guy, so he's just so professional. I studied radio broadcasting. I just see when you could tell people who have just jumped into TV and didn't do radio. you could tell that Colin knows both sides of it, and he's been so professional. Gives great takes. Some of them aren't always the best, but he knows, he's one of those people that's the most versatile. He knows the most about a lot of different sports, and he can give a lot of opinions on a lot of different things. And that's why I think of all these people, I mean, he's got his show run. I don't know how long his show's been running by himself. Him and Joy at times doing it, and it's just like he's just continued to improve the way that we see him. He's a family man. He's super cool off of the air. Like Colin Cowherd a lot. He's a great person to listen to. If you want to just get genuine or general news on sports, great guy to listen to. Bill Simmons, no comment. Just because I've never listened to Bill Simmons, I put him on here because people still do, I think, but I don't. So no comment, only because I just don't know. I'll put him. I don't even want to put him decent because I don't know. He might not be decent. I don't know. Now, I'm putting these guys up here, all the smoke, and I know there's a lot of other podcasters. This to me is the biggest NBA podcast. So what they say travels, especially when it comes to Steven Jackson. Matt Barnes is, he's got his sons, he's doing his thing, but Steven Jackson's a really powerful voice in media. And at first I was kind of like irritated with Stack, but then I kind of got over it because I realized that if I want anybody to interview me, it would be those two. Because Steven Jackson, he's going to get on me because I'm young and I got a baby face, and I would come right back at him and it'd be great and we laugh about it. And it's like, you need some of that mental toughness, along with Matt Barnes, who is amazing. Matt Barnes has, turned from just gritty basketball player, known for putting the ball in Kobe's face, to becoming an incredible professional. And professional at everything. He's impressed. He's impressed the crap out of me. I'm so happy for Matt Barnes and for Stack Jack, especially for what they do in the community. They are, to me, on the GOAT tier. If you want to listen, they're not going to give a lot of NBA takes about what's going on right now, but if they do, listen. Please listen to these two because they know what they're talking about. They've got eyes to the streets, eyes in the NBA world, eyes in everywhere. They know things, okay? So let's give these guys their respect. Now, I saved the best / worst for last. Charles Barkley. I made a video about Charles Barkley. I may never release it. He is hilarious. We all know that. Chuck is so funny, so entertaining, so charismatic. Nothing about Chuck as a person I'm gonna go at all because I love Chuck. Even as a basketball player, I watched Chuck. I had the old NBA Superstars mixtapes. I watched Chuck and the Sixers on the Suns. Watched his basketball career before I watched his broadcasting career. So when it comes to Charles Barkley, I have a lot of respect for him. The issue with Charles Barkley is that he doesn't really, same kind of area as Magic Johnson, he doesn't really think that what he says can affect people. And it's like just a little irritating how he's over there crying about cancel culture, which I agree, cancel culture should not be a thing. But he's also put himself in a box where he's continually criticized today's game, but then calls himself, he's technically an expert analyst. And I know he says, oh, the only expert is God. But then you sit there and try to give your NBA opinions on these things and pretend like people aren't listening to you. Even if you say afterwards, oh, we're not experts, we're not this, we're not that. Okay, well, you're getting paid the most money out of anybody to talk about basketball. And you're on TNT talking about basketball all the time. Dude, we see your big head on TV all the time. You can't just say we don't want to talk, you don't want to talk about like, we're going to listen to you. We're going to. I don't all the time because sometimes he makes good takes, sometimes he doesn't. But it's not even the takes that I'm irritated with, Charles. It's just the way he criticizes today's game and the way, and it's like, I'm not sensitive because he can come at me and call me sensitive all I want. I'm far from that. If you knew my story, he'd know that I wasn't sensitive. That's not the point. It's just that not everybody is like me. Not everybody can handle the criticism, and today's game is better than it was back then, and I think they just don't want to hear that. They just don't want to hear that today's game is better. He wants to discredit today's superstars, discredit LeBron all the time, and it's just like, okay, we get it, you don't like today's game, whatever. So all he's going to do is going to retire in 2 years, and it's like, that's not going to solve anything. People want to still see Charles Barkley. We want to still talk to he's fun, but he's got to start appreciating today's game, and maybe they just need some young blood on that set. Charles is not a bad guy by any means. He's made mistakes in the past. I'm not even gonna get into those. All is forgiven. But Charles, man, I'll put him in the no comments, and I'll put him in the decent section. But Charles, he just got to get better. He's got to get better at just appreciating today's game. I think Shaq has turned the corner on that. He had the Donovan Mitchell-ish incident, which really wasn't an incident. People blew it out of proportion. I'm sure Donovan Mitchell didn't think too much of it until it got blown out of proportion. Not the point. He's been much better with not only that, but just caring. Like, the fact that they have a show called Who He Played For when these guys are the expert analysts is just kind of ridiculous. Shouldn't they know every player on every team if they're experts? I know every player on every team. I get paid $0 for TNT. So it's just like, okay, start to care a little bit, because we care about your knowledge, your input. You've been in the league. We want to hear your stories. But it's a different league now. We just want him to adjust with the times. That's my media tier list. If you want any smoke, comment in the sections. Comment in the comment section. Dislikes do not hurt me. I do not care. All the smoke is on Twitter if you want to come back at me, SkyMav6. But in reality, I'm a nice guy. Appreciate you guys for paying attention. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you want me to put this list on the community for other guys to do it, I'll do that. And take care. SkyMav out.